to a couple of familiar faces.
Familiar, but no less charming or more charming than the others. I think the Lucky Cap thing's kind of interesting because Crims did that. He had the In This City cap that he wore at MLG, stopped wearing it at X Games MLG, stopped wearing it around that tournament and kind of trailed off, and then he brought it back. And I asked him if that was why. He said yes, absolutely.
Well, we'll find out. What do you think about TyLoo's chances going into this one? The new look of Na'Vi going into it. Everyone's excited. Everyone's a bit pumped. And Ukraine as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, first and foremost, we're seeing the new Na'Vi on LAN finally, which a lot of people are excited about. I don't think anyone said they're invincible. I agree with Paul on that. But I do echo the sentiment that of all the roster changes, they're looking really sharp. And there's no reason why this team couldn't become #1 in the world. I think it's just a matter of time, to be completely honest. Yeah. But as you asked about TyLoo, I don't expect as much from them as I did at Malmo. At Malmo, they had the advantage of one being unknown, playing a very passive style, including Inferno in the pool, which is no longer there. They force you to commit to bomb sites. They did it on Cobblestone. They did it on Inferno successfully in 2 best-of-1 games in the group against Liquid and now SK. The other advantage they had is both those teams, Liquid and SK, both had deep runs a week before in the major. And you talk about how much pressure and preparation goes into that one event. To play another big one a week later, everyone's kind of let out a sigh of exhaustion, and they let their guard down a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Na'Vi coming to this, firing on all cylinders, ready to go to prove themselves. Had a great run in the Pro League so far. They've got Simple joining the lineup, some added firepower going into this one, and I think this is the tournament they want to show. This is the lineup that's going to be the world champions. They want to be winning this tournament, and coming in against TyLoo, it's a perfect warm-up, I think. Like you said, TyLoo have shown to be, they can definitely run with the big boys, but this is going to be a very tough test for them. One thing I can think of, though, you mentioned that CT defensive style they have, that could work in their favor, just because Na'Vi are so reliant on working the slow plays, finding the picks. If TyLoo are actually denying the picks time and time again, that could actually be something that's very interesting when these two go up against each other.
Well, TyLoo's got the knife at least. They'll give them that. But I think you're dead right. The other thing about this tournament, just as a whole, and I think it's one of the more interesting ones of the entire year to watch, Lurpus tweeted out saying there's some shaping up here and he's not excited. I think that is a reason to be excited. It's the first time we've seen major roster shuffles in a long time in CSGO, so right there we're going to get a gauge. But you look at teams like Astralis, they've got work to do in this tournament. And they're in this group as well with Heroic, who's been looking great. Now we see them on another LAN. Are they going to continue that form? They were at Northern Arena last week, obviously didn't make the finals. Turn that around, you've got new rosters from Godsent and Na'Vi that are eager as anything to prove exactly what they're made of. Godsent in specific, I think a lot of people are going to be watching on because unlike Na'Vi, we haven't seen them in the Pro League. So we haven't seen as much, which also could mean they're putting in more preparation. And I know from talking to Pronex, they've been very busy in a boot camp-esque style as of the last week and a half to make sure that they're ready. And 16-3 that started off today, I'd say that they're looking reasonable.
They seem ready. I would say that's a fair estimate. But here we go then. TyLoo versus Na'Vi. It's going to be TyLoo starting on that, I guess, their favored CT style. We talk about having an interesting setup there. They've gone for CZ in the hands of DD. 3 sets of armor. Captain Mo, the all-pro of the team with the defuse kit. He's got a smoke as well. And an interesting buy from Na'Vi as well. The raid boss coming in for Seized this time. A couple of smokes available as well. Going to be spreading themselves out in a default formation for now. Seized and Simple, making their way towards underpass.
These guys are in isolated rooms far from us as well, so never mind that one player does have the headset off. I want to mention that now before some of the Reddit detectives spot that early on the TyLoo side. It does not make a difference. I do not think it's specified for today, and those aren't noise canceling anyway. Those are your HyperX and your SteelSeries, respectively. Boost up through the window for Na'Vi. C's going to try and push inside of the smoke, capture a little bit of map control. Does it, but nice shot back from Attacker. As Seized will go down, so anything that they just tried to get Na'Vi to try and force out rotations and push onto this B site was lost. But Guardian finding somebody is going to start this off still. It's Fancy that's got to watch tight angle to cover off. Good headshot from the USP. Rotation coming in from the checker room, already from Attacker. That's back from window, and he's got more. Tech9 dropping bomb. It slows Na'Vi considerably. 2 players left. They know where at least one of them is behind the van. The second one, it's Guardian. He finds a kill and showing himself, but immediately Mo just looks his direction, and Fancy's able to hold off Guardian behind the truck.
Well, there it is. They win the pistol. Definitely needed best of one. They're up against it with Na'Vi here as well. It's going to be that boost in towards window. That takes C's down as well. He was the raid boss. Give his Tech9 over to attack up. He was able to capitalize, rotating towards B. It's pretty signal as to what was going on at that point. So pretty nice stuff from TyLoo, picking up some pretty important frags at the start of the round. 1-0 here. No bomb planted for Na'Vi, so we'd assume they've got a force spike coming into the second here. That would just be Tech9's armor, and then some smoke grenades as well. They've actually gone for the majority of Deagles here. Obviously, very viable on the map. Mirage working towards middle. Guardian with the scout as well. But it's aggression from DD here, and he gets at the first kill towards Seized. 5-4, can probably fall back. His work has been done.
Ooh, dinked actually through the edge of that box. He's down to 10 HP as he lobs the nade out toward main. They're going to double that up. It won't do enough damage to take down. I believe it's Flamey that's walking in. Is indeed with the Deagle, but damage dealt, however, lives lost Favor still resides with TyLoo in that sense, as Flamey just watching with that deagle for anyone to carelessly peek out. We got our gloves back.
We do. I was about to say, do we have the map graphics as well, do you think?
I don't know.
I can't remember the Mirage ones.
They had the Edward. I think the Zeus Molotov was the one on this map. But he's gotten Edward down. So playing quite passively, far back, using advantage of the weapons here in this first, I guess, anti-eco round, the force buy from Na'Vi when they had the scout out to try and really take advantage and not lose anyone in the economy game moving forward. And that's smart. Again, we're seeing disciplined play from TyLoo. Of all the Asian teams, Oceania region teams, I think the discipline is the one adjective I would prescribe to these guys.
Yeah, it's very important up against a team like Na'Vi as well. Don't want to give anything away. You want to be prepared for the potential force buys coming in. Na'Vi are known for doing that quite well as well. So it's going to be going into round number 3. Obviously, it's the more the redundant round. They're going to have the Glocks. A couple of PT-50. There are 2 smokes available as well. So this will be an A-sided attack. They'll smoke up towards the bomb site, towards CT spawners, trying to get a plant down. That's the main objective here. It's almost impossible to win the round of this sort of buy, but getting a plant down, that's reasonably successful.
Fancy. Dancing on the edge of the smokes, he'll do damage enough to call out for Captain Mo that they're walking in, and look at the damage dealt. More importantly, calling out to that smoke, the one reason I mentioned that's where the bomb was going, and they're able to communicate it well enough that Mo's popped out, dropped that down. So no bomb plants in any of the 3 rounds for Na'Vi.
What was interesting as well, in the second round, we saw Guardian bring out that scout. So I'm not sure whether that was dropped for him. We don't have the monitors to check that, but he could be limited going into this first gun round. He's definitely proficient with the rifles as well as the AWP, but we'll see whether this works out for them. The buy will be coming in momentarily. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 5 AKs it is. So obviously, when you've got the world's best AWP, you want to make sure he has that weapon, but got to be up against it. Captain Mo, definitely proficient as well. He'll be on the AWP this time. An aggressive play from Shortless. Going to be Attacker. 2 players actually in that area, getting the first kill, taking down Guardian.
That's actually surprising that Attacker hit it as well, because DD was there, like you said, 2 in that area. So we mentioned this really passive style about TyLoo that we saw in Malmo. That's anything but. 2 players up Cat, like super unorthodox. And not only that, it gives them ladder room, it gives them window room. They've got full control of middle. And bombs drop, just so everyone knows, minimap, you can see it over toward B. So right now it's a pick strategy from Na'Vi. They got to try and pull this ground back.
That's incredibly smart from TyLoo. Like I said, they're probably reading the game quite nicely. The fact he's bought the scout, go aggressive. You haven't got the chance of the AWP against you, but try and get the kill back. It's Na'Vi right now.
Look at this setup on Catwalk as well. They've got 2. Okay, I'm surprised they let that happen, because they had 2 players waiting. DD with a flash around the corner to try and stop Edward, and as soon as Edward goes around, they timed it wrong because he gets the kill back at window. That would have covered off middle with 4 players watching it. There it is. Same play. It does come back. It is the trade at least, but Na'Vi able to at least get 1 and bomb back over from B toward A. They've caused a bit of a divide in the defense, but they haven't overcommitted here, TyLoo. They are still playing and favoring on to either bomb site with 2 players apiece.
Problem is now they've got no smokes to actually get onto his A bomb site. Captain Mo's going to have free reign here. That first shot is all he needs. He can fall back, wait for the rotations, but he jumps at the wrong time. So that's going to be the entrance gathered for Na'Vi.
And that's a bit of a problem in the play of giving up middle late and trying to cover off from jungle. The 3rd player rotating over as Mo gets the shot was Fancy, and he went towards CT to wait for the call rather than to support off Palace. That almost cost the op the position, but Mo, he comes back in with 2, sees that nade should do it. Oh, not quite. Mo just gets down off the ticket booth, but he himself seized on 20 HP. He's going to try and get the first bomb plant, denied again from TyLoo.
Great stuff from TyLoo. Like we said, we're expecting these defensive setups and playing passively towards the bomb sites. They're going aggressive, pushing off towards short. You can see Na'Vi just weren't expecting that at all. And for reasons I mentioned, you know the Guardian probably doesn't have an AWP. He had the scout in the second round. You've got a lot less risk factor there as well. That means that force buy means they won't necessarily have all the utility to hold you off as well. So fantastic start from TyLoo. 4-0 here in the best of 1. It's looking very promising indeed. They're managing just to keep... Actually, this is another interesting setup. 2 towards short once again. This is actually quite an unorthodox setup in terms of what you should be playing the CT side of Mirage. But look at Na'Vi actually sending so many players towards underpass here.
And I was going to say, if they had gone up in Rush B, you've got 2 players already on Cat. That's a fast rotation. Good nade. Follow that up. They've got 1. They've got damage done. Attackers there. 2 in the window. They will get caught by Flamey, who nearly finds more than that. They get a dink all the way down onto Fancy. They've lost 1, but it's just simple remaining. And Na'Vi, and we mentioned it, Paul said it, I think correctly so. They've got the Firecracker in the middle. We know they're already a volatile team. First chance we really get to see them side by side and how the personality is going to work out. Simple sitting in the middle, by the way.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is this tournament is allowing the coaches here. We're not using the Valve rule set to actually have StarX calling for them, but I think it's beneficial. It's their first LAN. They need someone like him just to keep the team together. Like they said, they could be quite volatile, but it's where things start to get interesting now. We're going to round number 6. The money has finally stabilized for Na'Vi. The AWP comes in for Guardian, so it's where Captain Mo really will be tested. He's yet to die. He's on 4-0 right now. Actually stepped up incredibly well in that first gun round. So this is where Na'Vi will be tested. Like I said before, though, Navi aren't really sure what to expect. They were expecting this slow, passive playstyle. Now they're getting aggression from the start. So hopefully that does play into them. We know they like to base their game around Guardian, looking for those initial kills. And it's quite a fast default from them as well. Not actually using anything towards mid. And aggressive play from short once more. And it will be DD, an attacker, towards short, looking for the first pick.
Desperately is Edward. Again, this two players, though. I love seeing something a little bit different.
This is really interesting.
We kind of talked about this a little bit last time we saw them, too. If it's an evolution of meta, if everyone plays in the Western scene against each other, they're all constantly using either counter strats or what is the standard format, and it kind of evolves together. Where these guys don't see the Western teams as much, they have a different evolution over there. So this could be something that actually is very common for them in the Eastern scene and in the Asian scene specifically. And now they're bringing it to the table. I really like the divide in that sense because we're seeing something unorthodox. But this round, not quite as successful. They've lost Mo as well now as Flamey. He's walked into the A site. They're starting to figure out these default positions where they do like to play. And with a two-man advantage, despite that Edward is on 2 HP, Navi's in a reasonable position, but Fancy rotating over late towards CT. He's picked up the AWP. He's got Mo's gun, and he's got a kill back. He's avenged his teammate. 5-0 for TyLoo. They've got to try and find something, Navi, and slowly they're going to let C's try and work into the B site. Bomb just waiting in the hallways in case he can find this. And Simple's got connection covered off. So even if they rotate out, if Fancy gets careless, gets caught in the open, they could have the kill. Somebody's pulled it back, though. Back to a 3 versus 3. Low HP on both him and Edward. The next to find, it's going to be them confronting each other. They're going to send Edward in to find that opening, but Simple's fallen. Fancy's found him inside a connector. That's on the A site. That's rotations covered off. That's going to allow attacker into the open. It's Guardian on the AWP, though. He's down to a 1 versus 2. Bomb drop momentarily. 10 seconds. He's got to make a play. He knows there's one toward bench, but he doesn't know the HP. And that's going to allow somebody to walk out and find a headshot.
After finding their first initial kills, you can see Navi are adjusting. They know middle and window connect is actually quite an easy space for them to gather. They're looking towards short for that aggression. They find the first pick, but TyLoo getting straight back into it as well, funneling them back towards the B side. And we saw that last player, the last line of defense was somebody, and he actually steps up, finds the first kill, and gets headshot in the process as well, but delays him just enough, gets the bomb dropped, and Guardian desperately trying to find that kill in return, just can't do it. And it's another, I have to say, this must be a force buy really from Navi. They're at maximum loss bonus, of course, but not getting the bomb down. It's going to be 4 AKs, a Galil, and very limited in the grenades. Edward, aggressive towards short, looking for that initial pick.
So Mo's got an AWP gun juggled over. Do they have an M4 sitting there as well? Did they carry one over and then buy an additional one?
They could have done. That would be interesting.
That just seems like a lot of economy to spend when you're only 7th round. Mo's got the first shot out toward triple stack in the site. We've got a pause, I think, called already. Navi's going to have to slow this down. They know they're just getting annihilated right now on another gun round. Flamey, he's covered off. TyLoo is countering them very well, I have to say.
Well, this is TyLoo actually adjusting their setup. Every single round so far, they've been towards short. This time, they're playing heavily towards the A site. That's where Navi have seen a weakness potentially as well. So now it is a 4-on-2. It's going to be DD finding the kill towards Flamey. Simple, Edward. They've got a Molotov and 2 AKs. That's it. Simple's on 12 HP as well. He's stuck towards the A ramp with the bomb by himself. Edward coming in from the connector area. But this should be a foregone conclusion. How do you even find kills here? There's so much to look into. And DD controlling Palace. It's just going to come down to raw aim here. If Navi have any chance to win this round. Good news is they have time to play with. But this is the classic TyLoo we expect. Not giving anything away here. Making them commit before they make their next move.
So attacker just waiting. Edward getting closer, 15 HP. If Edward can spot him, be an easy enough shot, but they're anticipating it's going to be back towards CT. They've got DD walking in from Palace. He's got no idea which direction to look. And again, discipline is the name for TyLoo. They're going to wait for those rotations to come over. Edward's going to take the tack and takes down attacker in doing so, but DD has gotten Simple, who's still stayed rather quiet so far in this game, I have to say. It's Edward versus 3. AWP just changes his aim at the wrong time, does find one in the open, but it leaves him vulnerable. And DD's got the kill. It's 7-0 for TyLoo. We did hear a timeout called in the middle of that round. I imagine Navi preemptively called this tactical timeout.
TyLoo looking incredibly strong right now. Reading the game very well. They've shown themselves to be aggressive towards short time and time again. This time they adjust to willing to take the jewels as well. We speculated they wouldn't be doing that at the start, but they're very aggressive on all parts of the map. They're showing towards short. They're facing air ramper 2 M4s. It seems like they've got this little fragging unit and 2 men who are choosing positions on the map each time and actually finding kills as well. We know these guys are incredibly talented. The individual aim is off the charts. It seems like they've kind of developed their setups here to actually take advantage of that. Instead of allowing teams to fully execute on towards them and not having necessarily the chance or the crossfire set up, they're actually just taking the aggressive jewels, and it's working very nicely for them as well. Navi against the ropes. They get to find a round, taking a pause now. We know a lot of these top teams will take pauses and come back stronger whilst they discuss and work out what the problems were. But this is how it all kicked off in the pistol round. TyLoo picking it up after getting that Raid Boss picked up into the hands of Attacker, but Na'Vi just looking at 6s and 7s right now. Can't seem to get into these bomb sites. Rarely getting the bomb down as well. That last round was a 4 versus 2. Came to a 2-on-1. They did well to even get the plant there. So with the maximum loss bonus and the bomb down as well, they will have another healthy buy. The AWP will be a possibility, but Guardian's had little impact. He's not finding the entries. His team are getting shut down before he has a chance to work them up.
Well, that's what I'm curious. Is it better to just try and run a straight fast execution onto the A site, potentially with smokes
Well,
at this point?
that's what they tried before. It wasn't necessarily an execution, but they went very quickly up towards the A ramp. They were looking for the kills, trying to take over Palace as well, but that's on the adjustment from TyLoo, and they got shut down in that respect as well. It was just a perfect read from TyLoo that round. They saw, okay, the slow defaults aren't working for us. They're shutting us down towards short. Let's get the money back. Let's just go towards A and face. We know there's going to be just Mo there potentially, but very well played from TyLoo. This is getting very interesting. We know these guys can take down huge scalp. Like you said, SK and Malmo, they managed to be the team that knocked them out as well. And this is looking very promising for TyLoo. You can see he's still quite jovial in the Na'Vi camp, laughing, not arguing, which is good to see.
Yeah.
You know, that has been a problem in the past. Best of 1. Not a huge deal if you lose the first game, but it does mean you have to play tomorrow as well, right?
I also said Simple was in the middle. My mistake. It's StarX that's close to us, so there's actually 6 in the line.
Oh, is it a 6 PC? You have a coach
yeah,
PC as well.
you can see it here. The coach from TyLoo just leaned into shots. So 6 PCs in a row in this configuration. That may change, I think, when they go to the booths on stage on Friday. I'm not sure what the setup's going to be. I know they're quite big booths, so they could potentially do the same thing, but I think traditionally they have the coach in the back for that. But either way, it's Guardian in the middle, not Simple, in case anyone reads into that type of thing.
Speaking of Guardian, the money's not as strong as I'd once hoped. They've gone for a more utility-based play. And this could be what you were asking for, Matt. They send 4 players towards the lower ramp at the start of the round, looking for that full execution. They have got the smokes available, so that could just be the play here. Captain Mo this time actually towards CT spawn once again. This is the more passive approach. You can see there's 1 player towards jungle and actually Mo by himself in CT spawns. Another fast play, and here come the smokes and the execution as well.
But no smoke out in front of Mo. So the 5 AKs, they've got flashes out toward him. He's still got the AWP in vision. He's called Fancy back over after his utility first covered Palace to give Mo a better chance with the AWP, and then a Molotov on Cat to give his B players a chance. He's in position. Finally, smokes go down in front of him. Still, they have to contend with this AWP. A smoke there, but he's jumped up. No one's spotting him just yet. Flash, not successful, but bomb finally going to be planted. Guardian going to try and do it. Slight gap in the smoke. They spotted Edward. He sees Fancy's feet, and Simple's got Mo. It's taken some time, but they finally isolated the the TyLoo players as Guardian falls away. No AWP, but 4 AKs to watch off this default plant as DD tries to walk back in. They've also got somebody waiting toward jungle. Attacker found by Simple. Na'Vi, there it is, execution. They have to isolate the players. It's the only way I see this working, because in terms of straight-up aggression, TyLoo is setting for trades and setting for map control.
Yeah, that was back to the classic setup from TyLoo, 2 towards short this time, and you could see it was interesting they didn't smoke towards CT spawn. We said that could be a problem, but good usage of the flashbangs there enabled Mo to miss that first shot. They got themselves towards Tetris, and then Simple starts hitting shots. That's what they need, someone to step up here. He manages to land some very important ones indeed. They got that man advantage. The bomb was planted, but still Na'Vi in a difficult position. If they lose this round, could mean it's a full reset. They should have money to buy. I think they had quite a successful round before, keeping 3 or 4 alive. So won't be the end of the world, but still not ideal. Fast play towards middle once again. Na'Vi have learned that this middle area does seem to be the most favoured place to go. An A split potentially coming in here. The bomb's still down towards T spawn, so this won't be anything necessarily fast at this point. He's trying to bleed the CTs out, work out where that setup lies. It does some decent damage as well. Attacker and DD going down to about 50 HP.
That was lovely thrown, C's.
Oh,
didn't really anticipate that bounce, did you? Calls his teammate, hey guys, I messed that one up. Can we use another smoke? 3 smokes onto this window already in this round. It's starting to limit them. As they jump up, Edwards sprays down Catwalk so they can't spot the jump coming through, but watch inside window. DD's still here, 24 HP to work with. And he's actually called for a little bit of support play coming in from Fancy, who's been rotating in this jungle / window position quite frequently in these rounds early on.
Well, what to play for now. Na'Vi with no smokes and haven't really made their way to a bomb site. Yeah, the bomb gets picked up in T-spawn, so this will be another contact play towards A, trying to use the AK-47s just to brute force their way in and try and take down the main players. That's the first kill from Seized.
That will give Edward the chance to walk in through window now as Seized walks back out. Simple's gone down, though. Mo is still a threatening problem for them on this stairwell position. He's got the AWP pre-aimed towards Seized. Is walking through slow peek, but doesn't land it. Seized. It's a headshot all the way, and just 1 player remaining. It's somebody versus 3. Na'Vi. Very, very important round as well when you consider the economy and the reset coming through potentially. So 1 versus 3 goes for the fast jump, doesn't land it, and that'll just be enough, I think. Fade away, keep your M4, concede the round to Na'Vi. So 7-2 going to be the score. But again, It took them a bit of work and utility just to isolate the mid position that time. It
Yeah.
did work out. That's the first time they've won that battle.
They did initial damage at the start. That was important. You could see that actually put TyLoo in a much more passive role. They weren't actively hunting for the picks, and when they did, it just took one bullet to take down the players in towards that window and ladder room area as well. Once they got that first kill, that opened up the A-bomb side a little bit, but Flashbase is going through once again. Mo does land some interesting shots as well. I thought he's going to get the third. Had he have done, that could have been enough to clinch the round, but unfortunately he goes down, seized with a nice shot. He picks up 2 this round, and Navi actually pick up the second round of the game as well. Number 10, this looks like an eco coming in for TyLoo. They do have an M4 saved over. It's not really worth forcing into this one. They're just going to have to rely on somebody to try and pick something up here at the start of the round. Maybe some mid-aggression, 4 players up with the upgraded pistol, see if they can get that kill towards Guardian, who potentially will be towards that area, but it looks like he'll be holding towards B-halls for now. Actually, only 1 player for Navi heading towards mid. That's Edward. And another interesting setup here. 3 players for TyLoo towards the A side there. Bunny hopping across. It's going to be somebody narrowly missing out on the all bullet that flies past his head there.
Good pick up from somebody, though. As he turns back through the smoke, sees down. Nade comes in, doesn't matter. He's found 2 already. Worth his weight in gold with this M4 that's been carried over. Simple, meanwhile, though, does find Fancy back on the A site. This should encourage a rotation coming through from Navi. Quick little shot below the ladder just to make sure no one's there as he jumps down. Spots towards CT, goes for a spray. Nade as well holds them back, and now a smoke. They should be able to get a bomb plant on this. Just have to cover off the jungle cross. They don't have a smoke in that position. Flash comes out, and somebody, although now he's covered off, is going to try and push through, and Simple's going to do the same, but who's going to find each other first? They bypassed each other. That gives somebody the opening to take down Guardian, who never saw it coming. It's just 2 players left in this post planted. Somebody's got another. Simple's got to pull back the mistake he made by letting him bypass, and they're already on the defuse. Simple, though, does have 2. He's not going to make it in time. Defuse comes through, and TyLoo, they've got 8 rounds.
An ace from somebody as well. 1 rifle going into that round. He goes aggressive towards B, gets the first shot on shot, and sprays through his smoke as well, rotates over. He's funneled them back to A, and somebody, you said it, he had to step up going into that round, and an ace. And the full defuse as well. What an absolutely miraculous performance that was. That's going to tilt Navi off the face of the planet. A round that up against 4 pistols and 1 M4, and my God, somebody... That's going to be the player of the tournament so far. Unbelievable. Brings TyLoo right back into it as well. The money was a question mark, but now 8-2. They've got the orbs back and the M4s. Navi in a difficult position here. They do still have money, though. 4 AKs and the AWP, 4 Guardian, but that's going to get the emotional team we mentioned before questioning what the hell happened last round.
Guardian trying to find a pick. Again, having the AWP up. Mo's got his back, though, this time. See if he can find anything with it. Guardian does this time. Mo changing his position. He's caught off guard. Unaware, hasn't played in the window with that AWP. They change it up finally, and he gets caught.
Yeah, well, this is perfect for Navi now. They found a kill nice and early. This is their bread and butter, working them out, seeing what the CT reactions are, bleeding them out for utility as well. And they shouldn't give too much away. You can see the bomb is still down towards T-spawn. So they're just seeing what the CTs are going to do to try and get something back. Mirage is one of those maps you're potentially trying to push the B-halls, maybe get someone in underpass, just try and get a kill in return. It's very difficult to hold off these aggressive pushes with a 5-man terrorist unit when you're a man down, especially when you've lost your AWP as well. So you can see TyLoo not reacting, though. They're just staying in little tag teams here. 2 towards B, 2 on A. It's going to be Attacker and Fancy in that A ramp as well. The flash comes in. I don't think that's going to get them fully, but Simple lands a shot regardless.
Ooh. Wasn't ready for that, though. Fancy immediately re-peeks him, takes bomb down. 24 seconds. They've got to pull this back. Molotov out. That buys 7 further seconds for Edward, but he's got a flash. That'll push it back. He should be able to grab the bomb at the very least in this. Or I say that, and guess what? The man who threw the first Molotov,
seconds.
Fancy, he picks up a second one. He'll go down eventually, but DD's going to trade against Seized. They've got to get back to the site, and they've got to confront somebody once more. As he waits, denies the plant. 5 seconds, round's over. Round's over. Run away, try and save the AWP for Edward. It's all they can hope to do. 9-2 for TyLoo. And talk about a gift. Throws the first Molotov, walks back. Oh, I got another one.
That was so sick from Fancy. He just finds 2 kills there, but you can see he knew exactly what he had to do there. We talk about Navi having this slow play style, and sometimes it's to their detriment. They get the first 2 kills, and they're okay, everything's fine here. Fancy finds an opening, and a couple of Molotovs dropped as well by the enemy, and he actually drops them perfectly, denies them for so long on that bomb. He does a lot of damage as they're trying to recover it, takes another player down, forces them back away, and his teammates have rotated it in. Perfectly played. Very nice to watch as well. 9-2, TyLoo looking incredibly strong. We're going to round number 12. Seems like a force buy for Navi as well. Just 1 AWP. I guess that's probably picked up that player who survived, but it's going to be upgraded pistols, the AWP in the hands of Guardian. Definitely a player who can open the map up for his team, but he's been struggling for sure. And now TyLoo are going to be where the AWP has been salvage by Navi. Probably won't give anything away at this point. Captain Mo did feel the headshot force of Guardian in the previous.
And he's gone back over to his traditional spot. CT stairs on A as well. As they look toward B, fast plant, potentially no smoke out to try and go for it immediately. And Dendy, I don't know why I just called him Dendy, double D, DD. Apparently
works.
Dendy, Navi, he's come over from Dota, guys. But he's watching that window drop, so they can't even try and bypass him quickly enough with the bomb. They'd have to just completely swarm and overwhelm him. No flashes either to try and do that. And look at the amount of utility against them. It's just 50 seconds to work with.
Just locking them out for now. They're relying on Guardian to get a pick, but can't really have too much vision here. Nice little boost coming from DD. I don't think anyone will expect this as well. Aggressively trying to go for that first pick. And they're going to have to just walk in and hope for the best and hope Guardian lands that first shot.
And DD just watching that close gap rather than sitting and waiting to cover off his teammate who now has to watch catwalk. Arm sticks out. He's not exposed just yet. Now he comes back around somebody. He gets a kill on top of that against Seized. Then it's TyLoo just completely mopping up Navi once more. This is... You got to wonder if the veto is by design. If they thought, all right, guys, they think they're good on Mirage. They always were. Let's just pull out another surprise.
This was the discussion point of Cobble at Malmo, right? No one has seen that sort of setup before. It's very difficult to play against a setup you've never seen before. It might necessarily be the best setup in the world or the best for the map, but if you're not used to playing against it and it's just so diverse and you're not really sure what's going on each round, it can be incredibly hard to lock it down, work the traditional picks as well. This is not European style. It's actually quite frantic, and Navi having a very difficult time holding it off as well. I'm very impressed so far by TyLoo. He said the individual skill was off the charts, and they're delivering on all fronts as well. But here we go. Navi do find the first kill as Flamey to take down the AWPer as well.
Attacker does pull one back, but Navi this time have a firm claw into the round. It's 4 versus 2, and DD left on 9 HP. They're going to try and spray through. Does actually hit it. Edward goes down. He lines it up perfectly with the default plant. That buys a little bit more time, but it's 1 minute and 20 to work with this time for Navi, so they should be able to pull this back. Somebody not quite spotted in the smoke. He is vulnerable, though. Pines another one. This is back to a 2 versus 2. Bomb's still down, and the smokes are fading away. Somebody's going to push back in once more. Guardian not looking in the correct direction. Does put his head back. Knows that had to have been a close throw. So he's got to be somewhere near CT, but that smoke by design leaves a gap to push through and swing out on a potentially stop bomb. DD with 9 HP has rotated all the way to B. He should be able to spot through from catwalk momentarily. That's a good play from Guardian. Gets above because that was somebody lurking heavily onto Seas. That was a free kill if he hadn't been spotted sooner.
Incredibly tense there. Navi had no idea where he was, but they do manage to get the firm advantage here. DD with 9 HP coming in from connector as well. You can see Navi a little bit apprehensive to get the plant in. They're sticking together and making sure they don't give anything away, but they don't want to run the clock down as the plant comes in. I think DD is going for the save here. Or maybe he thought it would be. Okay, still got to be committed to this. You might as well see what he can do.
Might as well try. They've built up some residual cash. They had a couple traded rounds not too far ago, but why not? Guardians on 39, reasonable. Sees 65, also reasonable for this M4. Covers off Sandwich, still anticipating a main, but it's not necessarily planted for that position, and it is planted perfectly for the crossfire they've established.
Yeah,
I think he just wants to take guns down.
Exactly. He wants to take 2 of them down. He knows he can't win the round at this point, but just wants to make sure he's denying them any sort of life into the next round, but he doesn't keep them quite long enough. The bomb won't be taking them down in this round, but a nice idea from DD, and definitely a round where you can see TyLoo had a chance there, a 4-on-2, and is stepping up, pushing for the smoke as well, finding kills all over the place. You can see Navi definitely not comfortable in these tight rounds, but still looking okay. No arguing just yet. It's quite calm. Game's definitely not over. 2 rounds to go. If Navi can pick up the final 2, they'll be in a decent position. Definitely not ideal, but it's something to work with here. So it's an interesting vibe from TyLoo here. 2 UMPs. The AWP in the hands of DD this time, not Captain Mo. So let's see what he decides to do. It's a 4-man play towards the A side. Just somebody with the UMP in towards B, and that's a problem. That's exactly where Navi are going as well. This should be almost a guaranteed win, but DD, there he is. Finds a kill on towards Guardian.
Good pickup as well. Gap in the smoke, and Guardian thought he was already by connector. Open position, wide angle. Not so safe. This is DD now with an AWP staring down toward the catwalk. Low HP on Edward there, but through smoke, Seized has found one back the other direction. It's a man advantage to work with. Captain Mo does get a shot back against Flamey, who can do nothing of it, but Edward's still in this corner. Not even considered as Mo walks around to his detriment. And nade, not well thrown with Flames in front, is going to slow off the retake potential, and this time, finally, they do have to save. So Navi can pull off potentially 5 rounds in this half. Still something to work with. We know they're more than capable, but I have to give credit to TyLoo, and you have to think as well. In a group such as this, when you have Heroic and Astralis, we know are both in tough positions. You send one of them to the lower against Na'Vi, great. You've done an excellent job there. You've taken out one of the two teams you potentially were going to be in a decider match with, and you go to the upper bracket against one of those two vulnerable teams. You could move through quite convincingly, and they have to close this game out, in my opinion, with a start like this.
Well, one more round to go in the first half. Na'Vi are starting to claw a few rounds back as well. They should pick up this round number 15 to make it 10-5, considering the money available as well. But this is the spray from Didi in round number 13 that made that round an opportunity. Seized, takes down the AWP. And that replay there as well. But this is more promising now. But you can see they've kind of thrown caution to the wind with their traditional Mirage play as well. They know it's quite difficult for them to actually get into these bomb sites here. There's quite heavy stacks entirely almost every single round. And they're just trying to guess where they can actually be most effective and simple. It's caught out of position there. He had his knife out. And it's going to be Captain Mo pushing the Palace area, getting that first kill with the UMP as well. So 5 on 4. And they're going to be able to fall back here as well. So up against the ropes now. Na'Vi, one play up in the form of Seas. He's working the B apartments, trying to get the pick back in return. And Guardian with the AWP towards middle.
Quick little right-click flash from somebody to pop out. You do not see that coming. It's very, very easy to throw. It's the timing that's hard to gain. Didi, good positioning. Flamey walks in. They try and open this up against the unknown economy that is that of TyLoo. Somebody's already fallen back down. He's the one on the CZ75. Everyone else is upgraded because of these two early kills. And it does pull one back. Looks for a second, but Didi's transitioned over toward Firebox. Attackers got Guardian as well, and guess what? We thought 10-5 was possible.
Yeah.
Thanks for the rifles. Thanks for the round. It's going to be 11-4 for TyLoo, surely, in this.
As soon as Na'Vi go back to basics, they're getting shut down. They look like much more efficient unit that is going into the bomb sites together, using the contact play, hoping the stack hasn't been towards that site. One-on-one situations, TyLoo have taken the lion's share of the victory as well. 11-4 with 4 men surviving as well, and a very weak buy. CZs, UMPs, and a couple of M4s. They still come out on top as well. What an incredibly satisfying half for TyLoo that must be. Like you said, you expect them to close that out now, but Na'Vi definitely are forcing a bounce back.
Seized with 4 kills, Flamey with 5.
Yes,
Pretty small numbers there. And I mean, Captain Mo, he only has 9, but think about the amount of times he shut down 2 or more with the AWP on the A site.
Yeah, absolutely. And Didi, 16 kills. Great game from him. Edward, not necessarily the star player of Na'Vi, but he has been stepping up and getting them back into these rounds. Of course, Simple had some very influential kills as well. The early rounds they won, he was actually the one finding them. He didn't get a bucket load of frags, but they were quite important ones. Guardian, quite a slow game for him, seeing as good for maybe 1 kill in their big rounds. But yeah, Captain Mo, I thought he was very influential. And great positioning from TyLoo as well. Very interesting game plan for them on the CT side. Like I said, Na'Vi is not quite used to the setup and weren't expecting that sort of aggression. But we go into the pistol now. 5 sets of armor for Na'Vi. Another raid boss with a T site here. This time it's going to be Didi. 2 smokes as well. Default for now, but not showing any presence towards middle. It's actually 3 in the B halls and Seas pushes.
This is a good position from somebody, but Seas knows he hasn't had vision on this. He's going to check it. He's going to consider it. However, somebody doesn't care. Mid-air shot as he fell off that ledge as well.
Yeah, lovely hold there from TyLoo. At this point, this is perfect. Decoy goes down as well, trying to pull some rotations over. The CTs have no information to work with as well. We have got Captain Mo and Fancy waiting towards the A ramp as well. This will be an A split by the looks of things. Fancy with the smoke, Captain Mo. They're actually the players on the A ramp as well. So this is actually built by design. They're going to smoke on towards the site. Players come in from connector as well. This could work out very nicely. His attacker picks up another headshot towards Guardian.
That's actually a very clever use of a decoy as well, because they've already faced. They know he's there. It's a Glock decoy that goes down. You've already seen a Glock in that position. They consider it. They stay on B. They're late to rotate. It's going to be somebody taking out Simple. Flamey does pull 1 back, but that's it. Double peek comes in after 3 players were going to confront him. It would have been tremendous if he could have pulled that off, and somebody annihilates the player on Catwalk. We're going 12 rounds now for TyLoo. Money in the bank.
Yeah.
Na'Vi, you've got a lot of work to do. Tough group, and you got another game tonight, potentially. This is the LAN everybody wanted to see them at.
Yeah, we were expecting a huge showing here. We considered this not an easy game, but a perfect game for them to get warmed up and show us what they're made of. They will be forced buying into the second here. Pretty standard stuff, but it means if they don't win this round, it's going to be really difficult time for them going forward. Flamey goes aggressive in towards Palace, but shut down. Captain Mo's ready for him. 5 on 4, and once again, the T's don't need to work too hard here. They will be committing towards A, sticking together in the contact situation. They have 3 rifles to work with as well, so this is almost perfect. The CTs don't really have much to work with. They don't have a stack towards this site. They're going to have to rotate back in slowly. C's getting himself in a position with the CZ, but you can see TyLoo not fully committing just yet, seeing if there are any sort of kills, giveaways, or tells that they can work with as C's does reposition.
Indeed, he's just going to wait for any rotations through middle. No one's gone that direction, though. They've all gone safely either through the window or back through CT. This is actually quite clever, though, because C's pushing all the way up into Palace, knowing they've lost a battle here. That was map control that they've now given up. Okay, I've got information, and he's going to start to rotate around. Look at the other three. Immediately on that, it's a rotation back over toward B site. The problem is they're coming back his direction. And as soon as they find this kill, they could be going on the A site. We see smokes going over. Instead, Bomb's going to walk middle, though, onto Catwalk. And it's a 2-2 split. This is still possible, actually, just based on that a little bit alone.
A lot of work to do here, but there are 2 players for Navi waiting in the B site. It'll be Simple and Edward, and the Molotov will be dropped on them as well. Difficult times.
Yeah, that Molotov's going to go directly toward the van. Simple pops out, looks the wrong directions, think they're further back. Edward does take down Bomb Carrier for a moment, 27 seconds. He's going to try and hold that off. 5-7, close peak, Bomb dropped again. He's got a chance, he's got a gun picked up. Seas will come through the window. It's going to drop down DD. They pulled this back. Seas is now the last alive, though, because they did isolate his poor teammate in the back of the site, and they find him immediately after. That came close.
Yep.
As that 5-7 in the hands of, it was Edward, was it not?
Yes.
Or Flamey. Edward, okay. Either way.
Edward on the side with the 5-7, yeah. Well then, it's going to be almost guaranteed round for TyLoo. That was the big test there, the force buy from Navi. Upgraded pistols, armor as well. Guardian, of course, keeping his money a little bit stronger. He wants to get the AWP in the first gun round here, but this is looking up to be 14-4. They've only got a couple of PT-50s to work with, and the default pistols, fancy one, actually just going straight into the A site. Aggressive, of course. He doesn't find the first kill, though. It's actually the CT, so maybe do something with this one. DD in response, so finds 2. 4 versus 3, and he manages to find the 3rd kill. Edward picking up the AK-47 for this round, considering the terrorists on the B-bomb site. That's enough. Fancy just running in there by himself, finding all the kills that was required. Navi pick up a couple, but unfortunately for them, just saving the upgraded weapon set is pretty much all they can do. They've managed to salvage 2 AK-47s. And considering they actually forced one in the second round map, that's actually incredibly important. That means they have utility defuse kits. They want to save these weapons, 100%. They can't even think about going for this. The 14-4.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
You think back as well in that last round when they made a contest out of it. If they were able to pick that up, Navi, momentum shifts, they start to get guns rolling, and finally they can control their financial game. They've never had control of the economy in the entirety of this match.
No, definitely not. The first 5 or 6 rounds didn't have the open Guardian, and I think that was the story throughout. I think I remember about 3 rounds he actually had that weapon, and it's not like he was doing a huge amount of work with it as well, but he will into the next round, considering he can drop that weapon over to a teammate as well. They're in a better place than anticipated, considering the situation of the second round. So there it is, Guardian will be glass cannon. So just an AWP, and maybe a smoke and a flashbang. He might not even buy anything with this. He probably wants to make sure he has residual cash. He gets an HE, which is interesting. 14-4, 20 frags for DD now, 19 for somebody. It's only Edward that's really stepping up for the Navi side, so he's on 14 for 13. This could be this is the round that pretty much decides it. If TyLoo pick this one up, considering the advantage they have as well, that's pretty much game over for Navi. Everything on the line. And a pretty standard setup. This is the European setup for a CT side on Mirage. You have 1 player towards the window area, 2 on A, 2 on B. You're listening out for rotations. You're looking for aggression towards mid, see if you can get that first pick, but I didn't see any of this from TyLoo. I'm interested to see what they bring to the T side as well.
Quick flash around the corner, clear it out, simple. He'll have heard this, and rather than try and get overly aggressive to catch them off, he'll position himself underneath the shadow instead. In fact, climbs up because Guardian's going to watch the A main position. Instead, he just watches Palace momentarily, and now they go to a more passive stance. No commitment, though, from TyLoo. A minute in, and they haven't really shown a single thing, and this gets frustrating now for Navi. They're trying to force them out of hiding, create the mistakes.
And the problem is as well, Navi haven't really got much information from it. They haven't pushed towards B. No one actually spotting anything towards middle, but you can see there are 3 players on the A side. This will be the execution from TyLoo, a full one as well. All 5 players here. Every smoke will be utilized at the start, and that should shut Guardian out. This could be interesting.
So that's top stairs. Second one as well towards CT. There should be one front jungle, I think, was thrown. Molotov in towards Sandwich. They've covered everything but Simple. He's waiting at Firebox. If they push through that smoke that was dropped close to cover him off at Shadow, he's going to be in a prime position. They still haven't checked this. Not only that, Flamey's doing the work. Simple can walk out, start to clear. They've got the defuse lined up. It's 4 versus 2, and Simple does snap back just in time because somebody had that pre-aimed. And Fancy knows it. He knows the situation. He's got an AWP. He's going to try and fire through connector. That actually isn't too bad of a position to be in because Seas goes down. He's got a lineup, but they've got a defuse from the left side. I'm fairly certain they can be, yeah, they're on it. So he can't do anything about this.
Yeah, can you imagine if he somehow picked up this round? The CTs had no smokes as well to actually push him off. Had the bomb have been a little bit to the right, that could have been interesting. But luckily for Navi, they managed to shut it down. So there it is, the full A execution coming in from TyLoo. We saw all the smokes utilized there, but it was a good reaction from Navi. They pushed in front aggressively. Guardian took a huge risk there. He actually went towards Sandwich with the AWP, nailed that first shot, and gave Simple some room to breathe, and he was snappy towards the shadow area as well. So shutting down TyLoo, I said that was the round that pretty much defined the game, and Navi do find something to work with here. This is A semi-force buy from TyLoo. You can see they've managed to pick up an AK-47. Fancy saving the orb from the last round as well. Gets the first shot, takes down Guardian, and now they do have something to work with there.
That's lovely. Edward, you better act quick. Get that smoke down. Does spot up a gun. Fires early.
Okay.
Scary times. 20 bullets before he gets the kill.
That was a huge commitment. He had no idea what was waiting for him around the top of middle. He's so committed to that one frag. Was it worth it if he went down? Probably not, but...
Imagine they just didn't have the smokes there and they were all just staring at him like, oh, hey.
That was risky play from him. He gets away with it, gets the kill in return. And sees now towards B. What's spotting? I think this is the correct decision. Get down. You know there's an orb available as well. Don't want to give yourself away here. Edward will be backing you up as well.
Potential boost in the corner. I wouldn't be surprised here. Seized. He's not going to jump on his head just yet as his teammate does crouch to cover off Catwalk. But you're right, this AWP is still here now with an AK-47 to work with as well that they've recovered from Guardian's death scene.
At this point, they're just hoping Fancy can find another pick with this AWP. There's not really much to work with. One smoke, a couple of flashbangs, no positional control of the map either. You can see somebody, he's holding towards B, but his teammates yet to do anything. Simple, we know how proficient he can be with the AWP. Not on this team necessarily, but this time he's got it. Takes down Didi and gives him the man advantage.
And peeks. Oh, top of the booth gives it back, though. Fancy finds another one. AK-47 not picked up. It's dropped over once more, and it's lined up as Seized finds two on Catwalk. Bomb included. 22 seconds. He'll shuffle inside the site to stay alive. Gets a reload. Hears him coming, but somebody finds the shot with the deagle. Walks in, unfortunately, to the crosshair of Edward immediately thereafter. 14-6, Na'Vi pull one back. So still not done just yet, but TyLoo is inching ever closer.
Yeah, they're just wrecking the economy of the CTs, though. Finding 3 kills, one of them towards Guardian as well, dropping the orb all over the place. I'm sure Na'Vi recovered it, but still, TyLoo making things interesting. They've got such a huge lead here, they don't have to keep forcing it. I was about to say, this is perfect. Just get some upgraded pistols, a partial buy. Don't let things spiral out of control. Last round was a chance for you to do something to the economy, which you did. Make sure you balance your own now. So just some Tech 9, CZs, a couple of Deagles in there as well, some head armor to negate these M4s, and this is an interesting exchange. Simple by himself, does a lot of damage, but only gets 1 kill for it. Gets taken down by Captain Mo. But
that's one of those hard ones to spray control, because it's not about the spray control, it's about picking your target.
Sure.
So he gets 1 kill and does a ton of damage, which is still worth it, but he gets down inevitably because you just can't line him up like that. Edward gets Fancy back. He'll stay at the top of middle, though. An attacker with this Tech 9 could do damage. It's another trade. Somebody finds it, but he's the last alive. So only 2 kills down. Gun there available for somebody, but 7 HP. There's no way he's going to get around the corner to grab that. Best case scenario, gets a bomb plant, but even that's a bit of a stretch.
I would say that's almost a possibility now, considering his position and the way Na'Vi is set up. He'd have to get some glorious 1-digs to even dream about that situation. I guess at this point he's hoping for the CT to come hunting for him. There's not really much point saving the Deagle, but if anyone walks into his crosshair, he'll definitely take that all day long as he holds towards the mid-ramp. There's no point for Na'Vi to even chase this kill or even hunt it. They know he hasn't got a weapon. They're the ones who've got something to lose here. So just hold on the bomb sites, make him commit, and then face together. But somebody does find an AK at this point. Is it worth saving? Saving the AK, he definitely has enough for armor and some grenades next round. You obviously don't get any money if you die after the timer expires. At this point, he's just looking to do damage by the looks of things. Can't land the shot. Flamey takes him down. 14-7. Na'Vi clawing their way back into this. We said it's definitely possible. And they've built the foundations to make it a reality, potentially.
We'll see how they play the long game now, because finally Na'Vi have a bit of an edge to try and capitalize on. We hear footprints. We know they're live.
We know.
But we're just getting back into it. Guardian, he's got an AWP. It's 5 AKs now for DDE and the rest of TyLoo. And they want mid-control against Guardian. He's going to play this window. Yep, that's a big miss. They need to call that. They need to identify that early, because if they peek against Guardian, they're going to have huge trouble. Thankfully, they don't. However, the gap on the cat smoke catches them off as DD didn't have his gun drawn in time. Still, they want to attack this B site, but down a man, they've got to try and really force the issue. They will not have catwalk. This has to be a straight walk in, and at this point, you need to consider smoke selection. Oh, they don't. Oh, they've only got 1. I was going to say smoke in front of the window at the very least to cover off the second player that's rotated toward kitchen.
Well, at the moment, they're just waiting for a player to jump up. We know a lot of CTs do that, trying to hunt for information. Fancy's got his crosshair poised, ready for that moment. It's not going to be gifted it just yet. It sees throws in the incendiary, but it looks like a B commitment from TyLoo at this point. 1 minute remaining, and they're going to be smoked out as well. Oh, okay, I'm horribly missed smoke, and that's actually going to be to Edward's detriment. He goes down. This is the chance they were looking for.
But they don't account for the second player. They nearly thought he was in the corner and overcommitted to it, as well as Attacker does pull back on C's. They've got the sight. Attacker with 3 HP, and Guardian, he's already committing through the window peak. Is anyone going to push? I thought there might have been. Yep, there it is. Captain Mo goes in. Guardian's caught looking down the barrel of a gun that's not aimed at anyone, and Mo's going to do further damage as Flamey's found. It's simple. 1 versus 3, and TyLoo a man down. No smokes. All but one have made their way in on a mistake from Na'Vi. Simple does find one in the open. That's a quick kill. They both face him low HP at bench, but it's Mo to find the kill again.
What a way to lose the round. You've got the advantage. You know exactly where they are as well. You've hunted for the information, and you miss throw a smoke in the B apartments. It probably would have won you the round. That shuts them out, funnels them back to the other side. You miss it. They use it and capitalize straight away. Find the kill. Edward was trying to reposition himself and use the flashbang to actually give his teammates some time to rotate in. But that was it. That's given TyLoo match points here at a very early stage of the game as well. 15-7, and the money's not great as well. Na'Vi, they've got 3 rifles, sees this down to a deagle. Guardian does have the AWP. That's a saving grace here, but he's going to be challenged at the start. Nails the first shot. A little bit sloppy. You can see that's a misthrown smoke from TyLoo at the start of the round. That's quite an easy one as well. Finally, they do rectify it, but Captain Mo aggressive towards A. Somebody going to be there as well, but Flamey doing what he can to hold them off.
Yeah, does pull one back. Mo's still on Tetris trying to find the angle, but Flamey knows he's on that stairwell. Doesn't account for connector. It's Guardian and Seized, 2 versus 3. Guardian's going to watch top connector. Seized at window. Guardian does at least pick up one. That's the low HP player of Attacker, though. He can afford to give himself up for a little bit of information. Not ideal in a 2 versus 2, but at least they can work off of this, is Mo. He'll stare in that direction. Double flash out. Third one thrown from Seized to try and give Guardian a chance to peek. When he does, Mo can't land it. Oh! I'm surprised he crosses back out because Guardian gets the gun drawn. It's all on to Didi, and Bomb is on the A ramp. There's a minute that he has to find in time to rotate back over that direction instead or find kills. He's got a headshot. It's down to the one-on-one. Guardian with an AWP versus Didi. And he may not be wearing that lucky cap, but he certainly showed off some flair in this game so far. As 46 seconds, and they are spread tremendously across the map. I'm not sure Guardian knows that bomb's toward A main either. They may have spotted it early enough on the radar because he's trying to position himself accordingly. Yeah,
he's going to spot it momentarily, so he does have a quick look. And this is nice positioning, but he has no idea where Didi's coming from.
He's got to think about this. And as he fades into this ramp, I'm sure he's going to look this direction. He has to consider this as a possibility. Shadow's there. Guardian sees it. Oh, just barely the Shadow gives him up.
They stay alive by the skin of their teeth. Their Guardian stepping up in the 1v1 situation. Didi can't finish things off there. A prime opportunity for TyLoo. The money was in shambles for Na'Vi, but it's the AWP that saves the day this time. A sloppy round from TyLoo, I have to say, considering you probably know you've wrecked the economy. You've got the match point as well. They missed through a couple of smokes and actually gave Guardian that first pick. He's able to reposition as well. A nice bait from jungle. Like he said, it's jumping across with the P2000. Actually baited the TyLoo player to jump through and actually gave the kill back in return. But you can see Na'Vi still in a horrible place. Luckily for them, though, TyLoo on a full eco this round. So a chance to build some cash here. Edward on the SMG. A couple of Famises as well. Flamey, if you just pull the trigger, got a guaranteed kill there, but it should be a full spray down for Flamey. Not going to have any trouble here. Mowing them down. Guardian chimes in as well. That's round over. Didn't really invest too much into this round. TyLoo, no, they've got match point. They don't need to do these force buys. No partial buys required. Get the money stabilized, and let's finish this one off before Na'Vi have a chance to get back into it. They're still in a very, very strong position, obviously.
Yeah, and you know what I have to say, and I called them discipline earlier, but smart goes with that. They've made some very good decisions in this game, especially in pulling rounds back that potentially they should not have been in. And they'll do the same money-wise in terms of thinking that long game, like you mentioned. No bomb plant comes in on that particular round. They'll level this out at around 2K. A simple, quick flash over toward A main is going to jump across. That means Didi at leveling this money is able to pick up at least a Galil to work with, but standard positioning from Na'Vi. Smokes off toward Palace. They just try and find information and stay far back. Passive play.
This will be another execution. Try and get the bomb down. Try and build the coffers here. The smokes come in with Simple. Ready once again.
Last time he played this position, Flamey did the work from the reverse side of that box when smokes came out in front of him, but he was able to stay alive and at least pick up one in the post plant. He could try and deny. There's no smoke this time in front of him. So Simple times it. He's going to pick up kills in spades. He's popped out. There's one. Guardian steals the second one from him, and Flamey again will pop out, but regardless, they had a crossfire on it. So 15-10, Na'Vi inching back ever closer, but now's the test. Now, I say that, you know, Didi.
Yeah, what was the point in that partial buy? Why are you trying to finish things off there and then? You obviously, if you hadn't invested anything to that one, you'd have a lot more to work with this round. It was very unlikely you're going to win it. You just limited yourself in this situation when you need one round. You don't need to try and close them out on those partial buys. So take another full eco, and you'd have an AWP. You'd have all the utility. Didi just had an AK. Really no point in that decision. But I guess they were just trying to make things interesting for the CTs. The double AWP set up now for Na'Vi.
This is going to be the bleed play. The default from TyLoo, which is do not peek. Sit, fan across the map. Anyone gets aggressive, catch them off, and let them bleed out their utility early. That's one way to bring it back. If you have one less smoke, Didi not having utility, if they have none on the CT side, great. You've already got the advantage in that sense when the time comes to go toward the site.
Well, 5 rounds in a row is required from Na'Vi here. Every kill counts tremendously. Like you said, a very slow default play from TyLoo, just trying to gain mid-control here, but Simple seems ready. He does get Molotov'd out of position, and Edward will be backing him up there. The first kill, though, there it is. Is this the one?
That's it. Just sit and wait. They slowly get up middle, and then they get a kill presented to them. Double op set up as well on this Na'Vi side with Seized and Guardian. It's still not Simple.
They still have 2 smokes remaining as well. This could be amazing for TyLoo if they choose the bomb site correctly. Towards B would be fantastic. You see there's just one player there. That's Seized with the AWP. If they're able to flash him off and smoke him out of position, that could be interesting, but he's aggressive this time. They haven't got the AWP to challenge him, so he's in a position just to get 1 kill if they do face towards that area, but he drops down. Could be his downfall here, considering where the TyLoo players are coming from.
Brought Simple over, though, with this M4. They're going to try and play off of each other. No rotation just yet to watch from middle or on catwalk, so they have to consider this as why Seized is moved. Or Simple, for that matter, if you consider that it was done in tandem, but now they walk ever closer. No utility out. Speed comes in. Footprints heard. Simple. Oh, can't find the first player that drops down, but he's got the bomb in front of him. He's used a lot of ammo to try and find that kill, but he does pick up a second. He's got Simple back. Flamey's gone down. Seized to stay quiet. He's the snake in the grass, as you would say, Henry. He's just waiting for this, but he's going to have to wait a while. 1 versus 3.
The bomb.
He's trying. There's 7 seconds. They didn't make the jump, but they get the kill. Oh. And the prophets in the pit of H1Z1 told me China was #1, but Na'Vi did not listen because they have just been taken down by, yet again, the Western killers in TyLoo.
Amazing stuff there. What a 10th round to finish it off as well. You could see TyLoo a little bit of panic towards the end that the bomb was dropped. Simple doing everything he can from that balcony area. He finds 2. He drops the bomb. 5 seconds remaining. Sees definitely the snake in the grass there. He lands the first shot but gives his position away. And with 4 seconds remaining as well, TyLoo pick it up. Amazing scenes. What a way to open up their campaign here at StarLadder. This is why we love CS. These upsets are always very exciting. Everyone expecting Na'Vi to roll this tournament. Home turf, new, refreshed lineup as well. And they can't finish it off against the first opposition.
I think that was the highest anticipation for anyone, was to see Na'Vi on LAN, them and Godsent. That's the 2 storylines coming in that everyone's expecting big things from. And as we said, if they won that game, Na'Vi would have played in the winner's game tonight. If they had won that, but both best of ones, they're through. They have tomorrow off. They can sit and relax at their home tournament. Now they've got to play tomorrow, and it's all best of 3s from here out. They've just made themselves a very long, hard road in this tournament.
Amazing stuff from TyLoo. I can't believe that. That was so cool. We talked about it in Malmo. That controversial, that Cobble set up. No one had seen it before, and it was working amazingly for them. No one had shut it down. This time, similar scenes, but it's the exact opposite. It's very aggressive. They're not playing the defensive style. They're actually hunting for kills, shutting down the economy of Na'Vi on the T side. They couldn't ever get rolling. They managed to pick up double figures in the first half, and they finish it off with style in the second.
And remember, TyLoo as well. Malmo, very successful. Unfortunately, couldn't make it to E-League. They were also in the qualifier for the MLG major. Couldn't make it to that because of visa issues. If these guys were in the Western scene more, this could be the first Chinese team we really see make an appearance in the top 10.
They don't get to practice against these guys every day. They don't get this opposition. They get to play 3 decent Asian teams who are pretty much lower than they are. They're considered the best in Asia right now, and they very rarely get to play against this sort of opposition, tier 1. They get the opportunity to play against like the likes of Heroic and Epsilon, I think, at the last Pro Gamer LAN. But apart from that, this is excellent for them. And this is what's so interesting. There are different approaches to the CT side. Obviously, in Europe, everyone's trying to replicate the best teams, but when you bring something completely new to the table, the European teams aren't really sure to shut it down. Na'Vi had to throw everything away and just go for contact plays, and that's the only time they've really found rounds.
And not only that, like you say, bringing something different, we saw a very different approach to a 2-man on Cat early on to cover off mid. So obviously they understand that mid is a very important part of Mirage. Yanko will back that up. But on top of that, we see them, I mean, this is Na'Vi again, homeland going down, and TyLoo hitting shots, making decisions, and the veto. I wonder how much goes into the veto. That's the big thing, because that looked by design. They seem to have Navi's number everywhere they turned. Again, you said it. We saw them on Cobble and Inferno at Malmo. Inferno's obviously not here, but they bring in another map that's, by the way. And I think that they counter-stratted Na'Vi on that in some way. Maybe not. I could be wrong, but it seemed like they had their number on how to find picks early.
Yeah, absolutely. You see what Na'Vi had no idea how to shut that down. And it's very interesting to see how the teams are going to adapt going forward when they play against TyLoo. I think they're going to take a little bit more notice of them once again and think, okay, we need to watch their demo to see what the CD setups are. They're so diverse. We have no idea what they're going to be. So a lot more attention needed towards this team. Well then.
I have no idea what happens now. They've not whispered anything in my ear. I'm going to guess.
Let's throw it to something. Maybe the analyst desk?
Just throw it up in the air and hope someone catches it.
We're going to go to the analyst desk. Guys, what did you make of that one?
E-Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGD.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CS Go Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and StarCraft 2, the largest contests in the history of esports among the national teams. World Electronic Sports Games, the World Championship with the total prize pool of $4.5 million. Registration for Europe and CIS regions is open. The finals will be held from October 6 to 9 in Kiev, Ukraine. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.